Somebody roll the weed. Yeah. Yes, sir. I wanna get higher than the motherfucker. Come on, say somebody roll the weed. It's not something. I wanna get higher than the motherfucker. Somebody roll the weed. I wanna get higher than the motherfucker. Somebody roll the weed. I wanna get higher than the I wanna get I wanna get I don't think they quite heard though. Somebody roll the weed. Yeah. Yes, sir. I wanna get higher than the motherfucker. Come on, say somebody roll the weed. It's not something. I wanna get higher than the motherfucker. Somebody roll the weed. I wanna get higher than the motherfucker. Somebody roll the weed. I wanna get higher than the
Somebody get a hold of your neighbor and roll the weed. Why? Because I want to get higher than a mother blood pucker. All right. This is your boy, Walt B. And of course, I'm here with another Walt B connection. I'm just so excited about tonight's show. Tonight we have a special guest on tonight. Every week is amazing, but on tonight we have an amazing guest who is one of the reasons why I do a lot of what I do. I remember when I was younger, I wasn't born and raised in the church. I would sing, but then when I got a little older, I met somebody who could sing. Like she could sing. And so I met her, and um this woman could sing, and so I met her. She could direct. She could do everything I could do, but like she was like better at it. And so it inspired me to become better at my craft. And I don't know, it was just a journey. Ever since then, it was like magic, you know. And so it was just like so amazing ever since then. And it was none other than my sister from another mister. Her name is Monique.
Oh
How
my,
are you doing, Monique?
oh my goodness. It's such a privilege to be in the house of Walter this evening.
Cut it out.
Ah.
how has everything been?
Well, um, everything stays busy, stays moving when you're an adult, but
It
everything
definitely
aligns with the
does.
purpose that I have. So
Right,
I'm very
right.
grateful.
Now, um, Monique has been. I just became grown, but Monique has been grown. So Monique quit singing a while ago. Well, I don't want to say quit singing, but she quit singing as much a while ago. Um, but like when I say sing, I mean sing. Monique, do you do any music here recently or anything?
Well, I feel like you saying something like that is really an honor because we know you are. So I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you. But no, occasionally there will be praise and worship at the church that I attend, but not as often, actually. And so I'm
Okay.
really proud of you for continuing to bless people
You know,
because you're a writer. You do it all.
when I sit here and think about it, I'm like, Monique ain't on none of my projects. I feel like that needs to change. Like that definitely needs to change.
Well,
Like
let
for real,
me
for
warm
real.
up so I can keep up. How about that?
Oh, y'all, I done worked all these years so I can finally be on the level of. Anyway,
No.
I'm gonna have to find some videos so y'all can hear. Y'all
Oh
can
no.
hear. Also, my co-host for the evening, my sister from another mister. None other than Manal. Manal, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm in my happy place, so we real good.
That is always a good thing to be in your happy place.
Yeah.
Um, hell, yeah, the
I'm
happy
know.
place.
Hi, Monique. You are so cute, by the way.
Oh, right back at you. Right back at you. You are wonderful. It's the way you carry yourself as well. I love seeing what you guys do. And I know Walter appreciates you.
Thank
I
you.
do.
Aw.
Manal. I, tonight. Okay, so tonight we're talking about creating a safe space for vulnerability, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, now, for me, this topic came about. I deal with a lot of people who get fed up. They get fed up. Oh, I've had enough. And instead of dealing with a person one on one, they take everything and they put it on social media. So annoying. They put it on social media. I mean, all the ups, all the downs. If you know, oh, he got me some flowers. Bam, it's on social media. Oh, she cooked me dinner. Bam, it's on social media. But by the same token, it's like, oh, we just had a disagreement. Bam, it's on social media.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it creates a space where it's almost like you're scared to open up because you don't want to be the next topic of discussion for social media. It's kind of like that meme that goes around. You know, people will have you all in their business, all in their business, all in their business, and then all of a sudden, when they hit a bump, they want to become private, and you're like, no, we on season 2, episode 12 of your business. Fill
Uh,
me in. I don't like cliffhangers. Like
mm,
it's it's like the person who always want to speak loud and on the cell, loud and on the cell phone, and then all of a sudden, when they get to the juicy part, then they want to take you off speakerphone. No, leave them on.
Whisper. They start whispering.
Right? No, I want to know. I want to know why y'all don't want Henry up in your house. I want to know. I want to know why Rebecca is so bad. Exactly why don't we eat any of her potato salad? That's what I want to know.
oh.
She watched the kids. I want to know. And so what happened is a lot of times we don't realize that we not only come with emotional baggage and scars, but a lot of times we come with a built-in. I'm gonna say a built-in atmosphere.
Mm,
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm gonna set it up like that, and we'll talk about it. But of course, no, I'm not my past, and I'm not my mistakes. But, if I am the person who every time I have an issue with somebody, I put them on Front Street, I am coming into a relationship with the potential. My mate now knows that I have the potential to expose everybody and everything. I want to ask you all, well, neither one of you are the type of person to do this. So This might be a stretch to ask you.
What's the question?
I'm here for it.
Okay. How? Okay, so we'll start. We'll start with you, Monique. We'll start with what is the importance of having a safe space in a relationship? Period.
Mm. Um, well, the importance of it being, doing unto others as you'd expect to be treated. And one of the things that goes along with that is removing also the expectation and talking and communicating about certain scenarios ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
But we all have things that we would prefer not to experience and feel. So
Right.
why are we going to be? It's important to be aware of not being that and hurting or harming someone else's vulnerability as well.
Right. I love it. I love it. How about you, Manal? What is an important aspect of creating a safe space?
Like this question alone is like an hour conversation.
Right?
I'm going to really try to keep it short. The importance of it is for the sake of growth.
Okay.
Nothing can grow and evolve without being in a space that's healthy. And so creating that safe space is just simply for the purpose of growth for both people or all people, depending on what you got going on.
Okay. I like it. Because who we're dating today is not who we're going to be dating in however long
Yeah.
we're going to be with the person. If we marry, who we marry today is not who we're going to be married to in 5 years. And I do mean that figuratively. It may be the same person, but people evolve and people grow. And if you're really committed to that person, there's going to be growth and evolution there. And I think it's important to have a safe space because people can grow when they're not fearful of you judging them.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay for you to want something different next week than you want it this week. Okay. And you need to know that not only am I not judging you, but I'm not going to expose you so that other people can judge you as well. That's why you got to keep people out your business.
Uh-oh.
Right?
This is a maturity zone up over here.
Right. Right. I think that's important too because, and there has to be a balance. I don't believe in isolation where, now this person has you isolated from the whole world. You no longer talk to any of your loved ones. You're no longer, talking to any of your friends, blase, blase. I don't believe in isolation. But there does need to be a portion of the relationship or your life that is strictly between you and your mate. Manal, what is the difference between like isolation and minding your business?
Oh.
So okay. Isolation it's a forced act. And it also is something that requires you to be shut off from anything outside of, right? And
Right.
outside of, it's not, you don't have access to that. It's not allowed. It's not approved, right? And again, it's something that isn't healthy. So in isolation, again, something is not able to grow. It's not connected to any life sources, or the one source it's connected to is not sufficient.
Right.
So if we could talk about, science, we could talk about art, we could talk about it on so many different levels, it's going to be the same. But when you are keeping people out of your business, you're setting healthy boundaries.
I like it.
You are creating a wall of safety so that you can continue to grow. So it's when you're looking at a garden, there are certain plants that react positively to other plants. And so you want to plant them next to each other because they're going to encourage that growth,
I
right?
like it.
But then there
Mm-hmm.
are other plants that you have to keep far away from each other because they are going to, one of them is going to try to take over the other, and it's going to take
Right.
the root out of the other. And so if we're looking at ourselves as seeds that are planted on this here earth plane, then it's important to be aware of what needs to grow directly around us and what needs
Mm-hmm.
to grow in its own block.
Yeah.
So isolation is, I'm going to seclude this thing and it's not going to be
Mm-hmm.
in a healthy space versus
Love it.
building a wall of protection around yourself. I'm going to grow in a place that is going to be suited for me and that
Right.
requires boundaries.
Right. So you know, it's not like, okay, you're not saying minding your business is I can't tell nobody who you are. I can't tell nobody, you know, where we live. I can't tell nobody.
I can't post no pictures of us on Facebook.
Right.
No.
That's a little far. But what you're saying is minding your business is I don't have to tell them, oh, Zaddy rubbed my feet last night. I don't have to tell them, you know, you know, I don't have to get into the grimy details of everything that we discuss. I just posted a meme and it was so funny to me because my mom and I go through this frequently. The meme just said, you know, it just shows a person staring at someone, and it says me looking at my mom after my family asked me about something that I only told her. Okay? And see, Edie Mae is my mom. Edie Mae is the queen of I came to you and told you what I was dealing with and something I was going through, and now you went and you done got the girls. The girls is my sisters. They be, of course, they be helpful. They be trying to be helpful, and you know how women nurture.
Mm-hmm.
But
Out of love.
I,
Out of love.
right. It'll be something I done told my mom, and then all of a sudden, here comes my older sister with information about something I done told my mom, and I'm looking at my mom, and she's like, "What? What? I didn't say anything." I'm like, "She ain't that damn deep. This woman done sat up here. You done told her what the hell I done told you." Right. And sometimes it's like that in relationships. You know, you can't have one vulnerable moment with your mate without them telling their family everything. You know, it could be something that you're going through on a job and they done told their brother. Now he's trying to help you out in a way that you didn't necessarily ask for and you're not comfortable with. Therefore, it causes a little friction there. You know, it causes an uncomfortability there. And the one thing about trust is you can repair it, you can rebuild it, but it will never be what it originally was.
Absolutely not.
I think there's levels to that.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the topic. It depends
Okay.
on the concern, the issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's change form.
Let's unpack that.
So
let's unpack that.
Go ahead, Monique. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, I mean, I just think of different, you know, concerns. There might be a point at which, you know, because personally, I don't confide in too many people because I do have,
Right.
I love the phrase healthy boundaries. Thank you, Manal. You see, you be preaching, preacher. So when I think about if someone was to come to me and, you know, I noticed that they did know some information, I have to then actually think about how I approach the situation differently.
Right.
It puts you in a position to pivot, whether it is negative or positive. You are going to have a reaction, and it is your choice. But I think sometimes some of us, we might need that clarity. We might need it, and it depends again on the topic, because it might be harmful. It might be something very toxic or harmful. You know, and I do believe, yes, in the majority of things when it's unwelcome, not being discussed unless someone has the mental bandwidth. But when it comes to some topics I've seen where someone is a little better because someone actually, they're like, you know, I care.
Right, right.
So it depends for me.
So what I hear you saying is that it depends. It's not that they trust is not always lost because of them sharing something. Sometimes it matters what they share that will
Absolutely.
damage the trust.
Yes.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. So let's just say one time they just shared way too much. Hey, Lady T, how you doing? Lady T is in the house.
Oh,
So let's just say one time they shared way too much. Do you think that constitutes a trust issue with this person? Or do you think they're going to automatically be able to look past this now forever and not think that you're going to share too much?
so
So I'm talking, of course, I'm talking about sharing too much of some stuff that ain't nobody business. I'm not talking about they share too much, like, ooh, she put too much salt in
mhm.
the grains.
I mean,
I'm talking about I'm talking about, you got sick and boo booed on yourself. I don't know. Just you did something that was just a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah.
And they went and they just went and told they
mhm,
went and told your mama, they went and told their mama some stuff that maybe they should not have.
mhm,
What does that do we personally, I think once you cross certain lines,
mhm.
you can't back behind those lines. That's why and these are common sense boundaries, I feel like.
Oh yeah,
So some things
yeah.
you have to talk about, but I don't need to I don't think my mate has to tell me not to tell my mom some deep dark secret that they done told me. I think when it came out their mouth, I knew like maybe I shouldn't tell nobody this.
Right. But also too on the other side of that is opportunity,
Hmm.
right? Because none of us are perfect. And so
Okay.
if trusting of something and
Hmm.
the seriousness of it, like we are the creator of our own healthy boundaries. And so when that does come to us, how do we want someone to treat us with forgiveness
Okay.
when we come across, right?
I
And
like it.
it's not perfection. I'm not always that person. I will let you know, especially when it comes to a loved one. Like it's different.
Hmm.
But also, there's opportunity there. And that's where I'm just like, it depends.
Hmm.
Sorry.
I like it. I like it. Manal,
Uh-huh.
what are your thoughts? You're quiet and you're
Well,
smiling.
I want to let Monique finish,
Oh yes.
I believe that trust, like anything else, changes form in relationship.
Okay.
And like Monique said, every opportunity where things come up is an opportunity for you to pivot and make adjustments and communicate, right?
Hmm.
But everyone doesn't have the same awareness and everyone doesn't have the same boundaries.
Yes.
And then you're talking about the difference between someone who's mature and immature when you're talking
Hmm.
about what's common knowledge. Um,
Mhm.
and so a lot comes into play, but as far as trust itself, it changing form, if a person makes a choice, it's like I tell my son, you don't get to choose how people respond. All you get to choose how you make a choice, and then you get to choose how you respond to how they responded. You don't get to choose how they respond. And so that is a mature way of living life, right?
Right.
So when it comes
Right.
to trust, if something happens, you done told my business now. Now look, we got to have a conversation, and I need to understand what in you thought that was okay, right?
Yes.
I need to know
Hmm.
your motivation. I need to know if this is something that you commonly do, and then what's the nature of our relationship overall, right?
Okay.
If you're a person that already doesn't have boundaries, well, then I expect you to not have boundaries with me. I
Okay.
expect that I am going to be a teacher of boundaries when it comes to you. Now, how you carry that over in the rest of your life is how you carry it over in the rest of your life. But I will be
Hmm.
a teacher of boundaries to me. And so you have to look at the person for who they are. Now, if they just telling your business and nobody else's, all right, what's a personal thing? Take it personal.
Okay.
It is personal. It is you that they are coming for. But if
Hmm.
it's a person who shares their business and shares everybody else's business and they don't have boundaries
Mm-hmm.
in general.
Right.
And so because of that, I have to take that person for who they are. And it's not
Mhm.
a matter of I don't trust you anymore. I remember way back in the way back when the Proud Family came on, and it was a situation where uh, who was Penny's best friend, whatever her name is,
Mhm. Mhm.
she told some business. She told Penny's business.
Mm.
And at the end of the episode, she said, "It's not that I don't trust you anymore. It's that I can only trust you to be who you are."
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That situation allows you to adjust your expectations, and it also
Hey,
allows
Nikita.
you to adjust your choices in your interactions with that person.
Right. You know, I love what you're saying because okay, so I'm naturally a little more free with my business. So I'll tell on myself, I'll tell on what I did because I have learned in life, and this may sound a little cynical, but I've learned in life you can't really trust nobody. So I'm gonna tell my before anybody else tells my that's my that's my get down. You know, most of the time when I'm struggling with something, I'm struggling to become at peace for myself. I'm not really worried about what other people are going to think. I'm like, I need to find peace with myself because eventually somebody is going to run their lovely mouth and just, tell all of the business. I feel like you're saying, I think you have to deal with people accordingly. So
Mm-hmm.
there are some people who keep very good secrets. I have two really good friends that can, I believe they will carry a secret to their grave. No problem. But I have other friends that I know if they know something, it's at least 4 or 5 other people that they done told my business to. I also like what you're saying because it lines up with there's a vlogger that I follow. His name is Funky Dineva Q. He says all the time, you can't slap somebody and tell them how mad to get.
Mm-hmm.
I swear if there's ever a third testament in the Bible, that needs to be a scripture. If there's ever a part 3, that needs to be
It needs to
number
be right
3.
around right around that James book.
Mm-hmm.
Right around there, yeah.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
I love it.
So So, with people being able to be vulnerable,
Uh-huh.
things are changing because in a male-driven society where men dominate and men are the it's more misogyny, misogyny is the rule of the land.
Mm-hmm.
Things are changing and women are finding their voice, they're finding their independence, they're willing to stand up for what they want. They're willing to speak up for what they want, and they don't feel like they have to, take down or be second to anyone. In recent years, it has come up that there has been an increase of women that are proposing to men.
Mm.
Okay? Women that are proposing to men. And so, with that, there is an influx of men saying yes and men saying no. My question to you all is because we're talking about a safe space of being vulnerable. We're talking about creating a safe space where you can be vulnerable. And I don't think we should only create a safe space for men or masculine energy to be vulnerable. I think everyone should be allowed to be vulnerable in the relationship. Will we agree to that?
I
Amen.
agree with that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody needs to be vulnerable. I hate phrases like happy wife, happy life because
Well,
that puts the burden of responsibility on one person, and if the relationship isn't happy, then it's that one person's responsibility. I love happy spouse, happy house because then it is both of our responsibility to contribute to the happiness of the relationship. Well, there is something. So there's something like I believe 7% of women nowadays. I just read this. 7% of women nowadays are okay popping the question to their mate. Okay. Are you all okay with women popping the question to their mate? This is our first question of the night. Are you okay with women popping the question to their mate? This can be, and I almost want to say, are you okay with the feminine energy popping the question to the mate? Because y'all know the Walt B connection is for everybody. It's not just for heteronormative people. Um, Coach Nikita says, "Hell no."
Yes, Nikita.
Let us know how you feel, boo. Benji Banks says 7%. Interesting. Um, it's a no from me, but to each their own. Okay, absolutely. Um, Nikita comes right back. No. Okay. 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 Anyone else? Anyone else want to chime in? I'm gonna enter my question.
Lock in your answer.
Right. Oh, okay. This young man right here, this good looking young man right here says, I don't see a problem with it.
Yes.
I like him. I low key have a crush on him. He's amazing. Every now and then I let him touch me and do crazy stuff to me.
Uh-oh.
Uh, every now and then, not too often. But let's see. Benjamin said tradition is being tossed out for new trends. Okay. Let's okay, hold on, we get more. Hold on. The only time I'm going to get on my knees is to suck. Okay. You know what? I believe in that.
And we don't
I
even have to do
believe
that all the time. So there's
you,
different options. So we can
there's definitely other ways to do that. Maybe I need to give a course because you don't have to be on your knees. Hallelujah.
I'm not ready.
You-
I'm not ready. I'm almost
so
40 and I'm not ready.
I was gonna say, y'all have to understand. Monique looked me in my face after I got married and said, "Walter, you will forever be a virgin. I know you have a kid, but you are still a virgin in my eyes." Right? That's how long she's known me. She known me since I was like a freshman in high school. Was it?
I'm still not ready for you to be adulting and having these conversations on here after I'm not.
Because of my innocence. Hallelujah.
Amen.
So I asked you all this question. I asked you all this question because I believe that you all, you have, in my opinion, very balanced mindsets. So I want to start with you, Manal. Manal, do you have a problem with the woman popping the question to, or I'm just going to say the feminine popping the question to their mate? Go ahead.
So, I think you're hilarious because you pivoted in this direction and you absolutely caught me off guard because I didn't know we was going in this direction. But
Oh yeah.
thank you for keeping me on my toes. I appreciate it. So, what's funny about this is, anyone like my close people know for a very long time I never watched The Bachelorette.
Really?
Because I hate the whole situation. Or I'm sorry, The Bachelor. The Bachelor. I hate the entire premise of these women competing for this one man.
Okay.
Because what I feel needs to be the case is women just be women, and then men proving themselves as men should, right? And
Okay.
not to take away from the woman's responsibility to, of course, uh, operate at her highest frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But women competing for a man's affection is not something that I'm down for.
We don't do that.
No, we don't do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just being. Either you want to be a part of this or you don't. I am not getting ready to be coming for another woman, nor am I going to position myself to be desperate and vulnerable in a negative and unhealthy sense to win over your attention.
Right, right. We
Not at
don't do
all.
those.
Not at all. Not getting down.
Okay.
So now this conversation, now people can do what they want to do. You free, you feel you grown, you make your choices. My personal opinion though is that I would never ask a man to marry me. Reason being is because I feel it is the man's responsibility
Mm-hmm.
win over the affections of the woman, and it is the man's responsibility to sacrifice in that way. As women, if we're just talking about energy and nature, as women, we all in if he worked part-time at Jack in the Box, right? And ain't even got a savings account and only has 3 pairs of drawers and with holes in them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Women, we're already all in and we don't always have standards and values that are high. Now, this is not to diss anybody, but as women, we commit and we commit intensely without always having a high standard. Okay. So if I am a woman in that position and I'm just committing for the sake of committing, the power dynamic is not fair and it's not equal. And as a man, it is your responsibility to identify the woman who is going to add to your life. You need to have a plan, you need to have a goal, and you need to be on a mission. And you are choosing the woman who is going to add to that. Women, we can make anything. Give me all of these different ingredients in the kitchen and I'm gonna make a meal. But I feel like a man has to have a plan. He has to have a vision. He has to have a plan in his life and has to have some value in that woman joining that plan.
Okay.
And then he's to propose.
Okay. Interesting. But what about somebody like me? You know, what if he runs across a lady like me? You know, I'm just playing. I need to quit. I need to quit playing like that before y'all really think I'm trying to transition. I need to quit. But okay, so Monique, on your process, do you see your thought process? Do you see a problem with a woman proposing to a man? And I see your questions. We coming to you all in a moment.
So this is the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know for me personally, how I answer. Now, this is going to be a general answer.
Okay.
The behaviors of people are changing. How I grew up traditionally, it's changing. And so I can see where with different types of personalities, it would rely on energy, connection, conversations, and the spirit of
Renee.
And I don't. I mean, I guess so. Traditionally, I raised in the church, and like Walter said, everything was about church, right?
Right.
Never thought I was going to get married. Was not interested in being married at all. But I'm married to a woman, so I'm just like the traditional way of thinking, personality types. I see characteristics changing so dramatically in the world we live in now because there's a difference in people's upbringing that we have to be conscious of and aware of.
Right.
And there are some men who might be amazing men to a particular woman. And in that dynamic, the woman does take on some strong behavior points. And she might be the one to say, well, you want to do this, however the approach is. So I'm like, I don't take it away from those couples. I hold
Right,
it
right.
with them. I know what a traditional man for me would have been like. And for me personally, it wouldn't have been that.
So I feel like I think that this term is needed. I think that I have no problem with a woman saying, okay, we've been doing this long enough. And if you won't take the wheel and turn this corner that I want to turn, then I'm going to go ahead and give you a nudge in the right direction. And okay, so since everything is love, 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 and you keep telling me you want to marry me, but you won't pop the question. Okay, I'm gonna pop the question. We're gonna see where this goes. I have no problem with a woman asking a man to marry her, being clear about what she wants and going for it. I also feel like this is her being honest. This is what I want, because a lot of women will say they don't want to be married, or oh, it don't matter. Oh no, it don't matter. But then every time we turn around, you're pressuring him to marry you. You're pressuring him to make that, step. What are we doing? It's been 8 years. Well, if he ain't gonna ask the question, damn it, you ask it. Somebody ask the question. Somebody tell the truth. What are we doing here? Is if marriage is what you want, when he corners you and say, "Do you want to get married?" and you say, "Well, no, I want to know what you want." No, bump that. Hell yeah, I want to get married. Will you marry me? If he says no, then you know where you stand. If you stay from that point on, then the rest from that point on, in my opinion, is on you. Same thing if a man asks a woman to marry him. If she says no, then if you stay from that point on, the rest you're pursuing the rest of that relationship, and the rest is on you. That's how I feel. If a person dating me now there was a day where I thought marriage was everything. That was the coop, the mother effing graw. But um dating me now, you're gonna know up front I don't want to get married. So when you start coming at me with what are we doing? Let's get married, let's this, and I continue to tell you no, if you stay with me, that's your fault. I don't ask for anything but honesty. That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at with it in my life. So I have no problem with a woman saying, um, let's get married. If she just walked up and was like, see, first of all, I know these so-called players wouldn't tell you this, but I'm gonna be real and say what's on my heart.
Oh,
If she just started going off, and but I do feel like men don't know how to receive that type of emotion and that type of love. I remember when I was in a committed situation, it was hard for me to take romance, like being the receiver of romantic gestures. It's hard for that because I'm accustomed to being the one giving and doing the romantic gestures. It was really difficult. But Bishop, what's his name? Bishop Brooks says the problem is we trying to bring old school relationship into the new generation. There's never a problem with a woman initiating the conversation about marriage when men have a different perspective in this generation. Absolutely.
But initiating conversation is different
Hmm.
than a formal proposal. So, yes, as a woman, upon you even meeting me, I am telling you what my mind is, and I'm telling you what my goals are. You get my
Hmm.
numbers. Let me explain to you what track I'm building. You want to build a track with me? I'm gonna need you to know where I'm at. And
Okay.
I'm communicating up front. These are the things that I want out of my life. And so as we're moving forward, you're either with it or you're not. And if I let you know I want to be married, We're together. I want to be married. Then the dialogue behind closed doors is, what are we doing moving into marriage? What's our bank account looking like? What's our relationship looking like?
I'm sorry. I was thinking the same thing, though, Nikki.
So, but so we're having this conversation behind closed doors as to what it is that we're building and constructing towards that goal that I've already let you know that we're working on. And if we're both working on that thing, then we'll both eventually get to the point where we're like, yeah, now we're ready to actually lock it in that manner. And again, that doesn't require the woman proposing. That requires the woman communicating her heart, communicating her mind and desires, and making sure that there's a checks and balance system in the relationship, continuously moving towards those goals. I'm not.
Okay.
You're going to get you straight first.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay.
We're in a generation of men who wear skinny jeans too. And have different swag about themselves. So that's where I'm just like, the things that I think about traditionally with manhood, it's not to knock anyone who wears them, it's just a reality that there is a different breed in the streets today. And you gonna answer Nikita's question, Manon?
So
there's only one, Monique, I'll tell you.
So like, the bathtub is my happy place, y'all. And Fridays are my late work days. So I'm literally getting off of work and sliding into this podcast. So I asked Walter, thank you for the green light, loving me.
Girl?
Can we do this? I'm down to be in this podcast situation because I'm enjoying myself. We're having a good time, but can I do it from a bathtub, please? A happy place I can relax and chill, and y'all get this cool, mellow Manon because I get to sit in this warm water.
We happy for you too, girl.
Thank
girl,
you.
Yeah.
Anytime I can wear clothes, it's a good moment.
Girl, all I have is this shirt on. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing on under this shirt. I mean, I ain't got no pants, no drawers. I'm sitting here naked, but this shirt is on because that's my happy place.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Bishop Brooks has something else to add. He contributes. He says, as women, sorry to say, but that mindset is why we have divorce as at the rate it is. People are studying to take a biblical marriage and that was structured around Judaism, arranged marriage, planned marriages. And we're trying to infuse it with our culture, but the mentality is different. People are wondering why relationships are failing. It is because it has been restructured. Okay, absolutely. And I'm infamous for saying people swear they want a biblical marriage, but you do not want a biblical marriage. You absolutely do not want a Bible marriage because the women that claim, "Oh, I want Bible marriage," they normally say that in opposition to an LGBTQ plus marriage. And I'm telling you, they don't want no Bible marriage because women were property, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Right? One man, 200 wives, and you couldn't say nothing. You get him when you get him, and you shut what I like to call the whole hell up. And that's it. So we can't take a piece of it and not take all of it. You got to eat the whole loaf. Don't get me started, preaching.
Right. My response is always, well, you let me know when you're ready to share your man, sis.
Right. Because I can keep him satisfied on the weekend.
No, but that's the thing, though. The difference is that both people have to choose to commit to one another. That's the difference. It's not about who proposes to whom. It's not about that. I have the ability to know my own mind, communicate my own mind, and have myself be honored, whether I am male or female, no matter what my relationship is. is. And so the new wave of relationship is, if you will, is no one owns one another. That's a huge part. We don't own each other. And everybody gets to show up the way they choose to show up and requires respect and honor for that. And everybody is accountable for how you show up. So as a man, you don't get to dictate to me life. No, sir. You can communicate your wants and needs and desires and wills and wishes. And then we get to come to a consensus based off of my own desires, wishes, and wills and wants. And so we get to build life together. And so it's not a matter of who proposes to whom. It's are we working as a unit?
You know, and I think that is what messes up a lot of relationships because people don't understand teamwork. I love what you just said, Manal. People do not understand teamwork and they don't understand we're on the same team.
Yes.
And so since we're on the same team, it's my job to compliment.
Teamwork, we're going to pick up right there.
Compliments.
Yeah. Affirm, support.
Yeah. And a huge part of that is we don't think to communicate clearly from the beginning and the stages of where things are flowing.
Yeah.
How many examples do we have of people who actually are doing that successfully?
Right.
Because no relationship is perfect because it's not ours. We're created individually and authentically and beautifully for a reason, right? So what you were saying about teamwork, Walter?
I love it. A lot of times we that's where we miss it, and a lot of times that's where we butt heads with our mate because my aunt cracked my head early on in my previous relationship. So in my previous relationship, I had to be honest with myself. I was saying wife, but in my mind, I was thinking puppet. I was thinking someone who I can scope and I can make into who I wanted them to be, instead of allowing them to be the unique individual they are to add value to not what I'm doing. Because a lot of times when you are in a when misogyny has the rule of the land, it you think, okay, I'm here, she's here, and she needs to support what I'm doing instead of let's come together and let's build something. Create something together. This thing we call life. Let's create it together, right? And my aunt cracked my head because she was like, "Look, Walter, you didn't marry no wife. You wanted a kid, somebody, a grown kid that you can boss around and tell what to do, and blah 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 blah." And I had to learn over the years to allow the person I'm with, my mate, to be who they are, and that we are teamwork. We need to both bring our A game together to create what it is we're trying to create. The reason why relationships fail so much is because you always have one person trying to create, and then instead of creating with each other, we become competition with each other. And so we got two different visions going. You got two different whatever going, and we don't understand that I can bring all that I am to this, and you can bring all that you are to this, and we both can just go forward together.
And that's powerful.
Yeah.
Like, so a couple things that you said. One, working as a team. It's when you're working as a team, you're showing up in the full power and strength of who you are. And so before we get to that point, you have to be an individual, right? You have to know who you are. And the other part of that is when we're talking about safe space and vulnerability, the safest space that you need to create is the space inside yourself. I cannot give of myself in a way that is vulnerable and being able to build bridge with another person if I don't feel safe within me.
Yeah.
Be my safety.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
So if I'm safe within myself, then
Mm-hmm.
I give myself permission to be vulnerable for the sake of vulnerability, because I understand its power and I understand what I'm building with another person. And I'm inviting them to build with me, but I'm inviting them to show up as their full selves because I'm okay with me. I don't need you to be anything for me. I need you to be
Mm.
something with me, right?
Ah, I
So,
love it.
and so when you're talking about teamwork, it's two people standing in the full power of who they are. And there is a such thing as healthy competition, because I know when you win, we win. And when I win, we win. And so when
Just like
we're
that.
a team, I just like when you see, the Lakers going down the court, thank you for that 2 point, and I'm about to follow it up with a 3 because we about to win this game. And that's
Hmm.
healthy competition. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's necessary.
I love that, but you got to keep the sports references to a minimal because I don't know too much
What?
about that.
I said score 2 and then score 3.
I just, I was like, oh Lord, I hope she don't go too far. Just
I didn't
hope
talk
she
about
don't go.
a bounce pass versus a chest pass. I didn't say nothing about no alley-oop. I didn't say nothing.
Look, it's like you doing a run and then she harmonizes with it. How about
Yeah, God.
that?
Okay, Lady T says it's always on the man because the man to propose because we are bred to believe that marriage is the ultimate accomplishment. Girl, you better talk. It's the assumption that the woman is always ready. So essentially, we're waiting on a man to be ready. I like it. I like that. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to always say this. I remember when I had to quit preaching marriage in my church. I'm going to tell you why. These young women, these brilliant, beautiful young women were walking around feeling like they hadn't accomplished anything. These women had degrees,
Yeah.
college degrees, good paying jobs, okay? And felt like they didn't have nothing because they didn't have a man to
Yeah.
come home, making statements like, "You can't listen to her. She ain't even got no man." But all her bills is paid, her
Ooh.
car is running, all her kids is dressed to the T. You know, I think we probably want to listen to her before we listen to you because you got a man, but he beating your butt every night. You maybe yeah, but
That's where you got to unpack what the definition of marriage or what it truly means to you.
Yeah.
That's the difference. What is marriage
okay,
to a person?
Yeah. What's the purpose?
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the purpose in the
What
plan?
is the reason?
What we doing?
Yeah.
I don't care about those pictures. I don't care about no Facebook status update. I don't care about a ring. What we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I am
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to let you go early. And this is good. I'm like on here with Manal and Walter, but I'm in Dallas and I've got to step away
I
to step out,
understand.
if you know what I mean.
Take
Oh
care.
yes. Have a good evening, my sister. Enjoy yourself.
And thanks for coming to play.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
tell the wife I said hi.
She's over here. Can I step in? I said no.
It's my thing.
Okay,
How you
enough.
doing?
Okay.
Uh,
All right, y'all. Okay, well.
all right.
Bye.
Bye bye. So I think that it is. I think that it is important that you understand you are somebody. You understand that um, you are valuable without
Yes.
being married.
Yes.
I'm bringing value to the marriage, right? I'm an asset to this thing. But if this thing never happens, my life still goes on. And I'm
Yeah.
still the bomb. And I'm still all of this and all of that, all that jazz, all the yah. I think that we have to change our mindset as it relates to that. Second question.
Mm-hmm.
Without right, Lady T. Without being married. Okay, second question. So we talked about the woman proposing. Here's the second question. There is also an uprise in men who are stay-at-home husbands.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say that again. There's an uprise in men who are stay-at-home husbands while the wife goes out and the wife works. Hold. That's right, Renee. That's
Yes.
right. You got to know that you are an asset.
Neil said,
Hold
I'm
on.
moving by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. Mommy, I'm good all by myself, but baby, you make me better. That's relationship.
So, I love this answer. Um, Lady T says she's all for it if it benefits the family. I see nothing wrong with it. So, quick, quick moment of transparency. There was a moment in time in my adult life where I could not find a job. It wasn't that I wasn't looking; I just couldn't find one. And do you not know I tortured myself for that space of time because I couldn't find a job. It just felt like torture. I felt like I was less than a man, but I was cooking and I was taking care of my child. And I was the reason why I won't go there. I was cleaning, but I wasn't cleaning to a woman's standard. I'm just going to put that out there.
Thank you for
I was
being.
cleaning, but I wasn't cleaning to a woman's standard. So, the house would be clean, but it wouldn't be magazine ready. I was with somebody who always wanted the house ready for pictures. Uh,
Vanity Fair might show up at any moment.
right. I'm like, ain't nobody coming to take pictures of this house. But, but, but it was, I felt like since I had to stay at home during that time, it was my job to make sure that things were taken care of. So I was cooking. I was at the school with my child. I was at the, handling the day to day. I didn't like it, and I tortured myself because for me it was outside of what I was taught was supposed to be. But at the
Absolutely.
time, like Lady T said, it was what benefited the family. Now I couldn't stay there. I couldn't stay there because again, it was torture for me. But I want to say this: if it works for you all, I don't see a problem with it. What are your thoughts, Manal?
Hey, I'm down for whatever moves the home and whatever satisfies your soul. And so,
Okay.
like, if I'm looking at myself, I would love to have a partner who's willing to do the day-to-day operations of the home and manage
Mm-hmm.
the child slash children as they come. Because I am a person who likes to be out, who likes to be on the go, and I love to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so to think about having to do the day-to-day that I do now, I would love to pass that over to someone who could do it and enjoy it. And it just so happens that it will probably be a male, right?
Okay.
Which is perfectly fine. And I think that again, you have to look at the structure of your relationship. Who's better at what? And then if I have
Right.
the ability to make more money,
Right.
with whatever career that I have, with whatever
Mm-hmm.
opportunities are on the table, if I have the ability to make more money, then why would you sit me on the bench, coach?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you sit me on
Right.
the bench?
Absolutely.
And so you just doing whatever moves you forward, and it's not about gender roles, it's not about
I
masculine
love it.
versus feminine. It's about whatever is necessary for your family dynamic and reaching your goals as a unit.
I love that because especially when you took it down to the gender roles and whatever works for your family, and then whoever's going to bring the most money in, and then what I have to go down this road because of who I am. I'm trying to get rid of some of my misogynistic ways. As long as he's adding to the home and not just sitting up being lazy.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't have to go to work and you coming home cooking dinner, cleaning the house,
Doing it,
taking all the bills, right? And then he just sitting up all day babysitting the kids and playing the game like that.
and not even watching the children.
Right, right. Uh, so I feel like, and see right here, Nikita, I
Yes.
feel like there is no excuse for a person not being able to cook in 2021. All these YouTube shows and these Facebook videos and TikToks and all of that, you should be able to do something. So for years I wanted to try potato soup. My potato soup is bomb now. I was able to perfect it. But the first time I made potato soup, I made Paula Dean's potato soup off her website. And my daughter loves potato soup to this day because um now that I've been cooking a little longer, I know, you got to throw a little bit of this, a little bit of that in there. But I had to get on the internet and look up Paula Dean's recipe for potato soup and make that thing work. I'm just saying, I don't think it's no excuse. If he's really trying or she's really trying, whoever the stay at home mate is, if they're really trying, ain't no excuse for not being able to cook. It's Darius Cook always got something tasty on the screen.
Walter, if
Uh-huh.
he chefs up better than I do, I'm going to elect that he cooks.
Right. Okay.
That's just how it's gonna be. It don't take nothing away from me as a woman to say this is not what I do. I'm actually not passionate about putting pots and pans on the stove. Okay, I'm just not. But you're passionate about it and you're great at it. Please feed our family.
Right. Right.
And I love he's going to be treated with such gratitude on a regular basis.
I love it. I love it. See, this is the mindset I think if we had this mindset in more homes, marriages would last better because what I hear you all saying is you're still going to reverence him as your husband, as quote unquote your king, your man, your, whatever. You're just going to allow him to operate in this facet. I love this. She said, my man has been working and taking care of home for 17 years at the same job. As soon as I started my career, I couldn't wait to give him a break. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love the verbiage. I couldn't wait. So it's not like, oh, I had to go get him off that job or, whatever. And then sometimes it allows space for pivoting.
Yeah.
It allows, sometimes you've been doing what you've been doing for all of these years because you had to.
Yeah.
But when you get a chance to take a break and sit with yourself, it allows you to find, okay, maybe I'll be more suited in this career. Maybe I'm more suited for that. Maybe I can pursue a passion of mine. Sad to say, after I shut the church down and I was able to sit with myself, I was now able to find out what I wanted to do with my life, and so I was able to take steps towards what I wanted to do with my life, which was beyond the pulpit. Not saying the pulpit will never be a part of what I'm called to do in life, but now I'm able to pursue my purpose and my passion, right? That all happened when I was able to take a break.
But even look at it like this when you're talking about partnership, right? You making that transition in your own life and taking the time to dive into yourself and realize who you are and what it is that you want for your life. Right. Not what you want to do, but what you want for your life. Now consider the partners that you link yourself up with versus the partners you used to link yourself up with.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. You are connecting with people that can add to who you are and where you want to go. But you have to start being connected with yourself, honest with yourself to do that.
I love it. I'm all about being honest. Dontel says,
okay, thank you.
Dontel says, I pay all the bills and play the game, watch the kids, and my wife goes to work. Military won't allow me to work, but it's still all good. I still play my part. Absolutely. And to me, I think that's what it is. I think that's what it should be. We should all be willing to play our part. As Renee says, It all goes back to teamwork. That's one thing I wanted to maybe. I'm gonna have to have Monique back for those of you that just don't know that she's a wealth of knowledge. I'm gonna have to ask her. I've been knowing Monique for years. I'm gonna have to ask her. Did you know I was gay all them years? But
Yeah.
um, but I'm gonna have to have her come back because what does team? I want to know what teamwork in a same gender relationship looks like versus teamwork in a hetero, normative relationship look like. I kind of know what teamwork in a hetero normative relationship looks like. I've never had teamwork in a same gender situation, um, and that's what I would love to get that contrast. All right. So we asked about women proposing. We asked about men being a stay at home uh, father or being stay at home. And I love the responses that we got. I love the responses that we got for both of them. Okay. I love the responses. Now, I have a question. So, in preparing for this, we were talking about being able to be vulnerable, and so I asked um, an older lady. Um, she's almost 80. She's 79. I asked her. She's 79 and still can think and remember. I want to be very clear about that. So I asked her. I said, when it comes to being vulnerable, I asked, what are some aspects or some areas of wisdom you would give? And she would say, you always keep in mind your mate's insecurities. Okay. She said, you want to not do things that's going to trigger them or cause them. She used the word cause. I used the word trigger. That's going to cause them to stoop to areas, she said, beneath their character, beneath their normal character. She was basically saying that certain areas you will always have to walk on eggshells around with your mate. You're going to always have to be careful with your mate in certain areas. So she was saying, she gave me a story about her ex-husband, and how he was super jealous, but she was so young, she didn't understand that it didn't necessarily mean he was a bad guy. That was just the area that he was insecure in. And she said, she would be telling him, listen, this is just who I am. He's been my friend. Whoop, 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 whoop. You just gonna have to deal with it. And instead of finding a loving way to get him to see that this is not a relationship. My question to you all is, okay, the question tonight is, can you deal with jealousy, or is jealousy just super? Now we're talking about super jealousy. I'm talking about, when I was younger, I would follow my mate to the store because they was taking too long, and I came up to the store ready to fight because I thought they was in there instead of buying soap on aisle three. I thought they was getting numbers or whatever on aisle three. My question to you all is: do you have the patience to deal with someone who may be jealous now, but you can tell you can love, or you can kind of show them um, ways not to be jealous? Can you put up with a jealous mate? This is my question. Can you put up with a jealous mate? I love your face, Manal, because your face says it all.
Look.
Super jealous is the deal breaker for me. I can't thrive in a relationship with lack of trust. Absolutely. Okay. Mature Walter understands that. Let me tell you, but immature Walter, Immature Walter be like, ha, you ain't got nothing to hide. You don't mind me sneaking up on you. Just pop it. If you ain't got nothing to hide, you don't mind me going through your phone while you sleep. If you ain't got nothing to hide.
Oh, shucks.
Not at all. I agree. Okay. I'm just so Manal,
Mm-hmm.
could you deal with a jealous mate?
Not at all, not even a little bit. And I've had experiences with people who are jealous, and I don't deal. And it was as you were telling that story about grandma.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about the difference in schools. So
Okay.
it's coming from an old school mindset.
Yes,
And
she is.
I even appreciate the fact that she said it was her ex-husband, because even she learned to get away. So I don't believe in insecurities from another person now
Mhm.
putting me in a box. I'm not doing that. I work very hard to break down the boxes of my own life experience and mindset, so that way I can be a free person to then get into this relationship. And now you are in a box, and so you put me in a box, and now we
Mhm.
live a life where ain't nobody happy. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And so, like, when it comes to people who are jealous, to me, that's a sign of immaturity.
I think so. Mhm.
And it's also a sign that, you don't have a grip on yourself, period. And so me linking up with you, I'm joining a parade of confusion.
Mhm.
And I'm not willing to do that at this level of my life. I don't think it's cute.
Right.
I don't think it's
Right.
acceptable.
Mm-mm.
You got girls that's like, oh, he's just so jealous. He don't like when I talk to nobody. Yeah, okay. That that jealousy gets big and your life gets real small. Let's see how that works out. And so I don't allow that in my life and space. And I really
Okay.
enjoy for people to be free. Again, I don't do ownership. And so if you're choosing to share life and time and space with me, then I'm gonna appreciate that, and I'm gonna give you my all, and I expect for you to give me your all at that
The
time.
same. Mhm. I like it. I like it. I not only like it, I love it.
Don't put me in a box. I don't do that.
Mature Walter understands this. I'm petty enough. I'll give you something to find. Yes. Because here's my thing. If you're looking for something hard enough, you're going to find that. Not that you actually find it, but you're going to make something up in your mind that is that. If that's what you want. And I like what Nikita said. Jealous mates will try to destroy how you see yourself. So I do believe that everyone has just a little streak of jealousy in them. Healthy jealousy, is okay. She better not put her ass on you one more time while I'm standing here. Healthy jealousy is, did she walk up and kiss you on the mouth and try to act like she was trying to kiss you on the cheek? Healthy jealousy is, I think there is a healthy boundary, we'll say, that is there. I would listen to people talk about stuff that happened to their mate, and I'm like, okay, now that's a bit disrespectful, right there. But oh, I love it. I love it. Nikita said, "Not me. I don't give a fuck."
Yeah, I was trying to let all his words fall out his mouth, but it's like, no, because I don't own you and you don't own me.
But I still think there has to be healthy boundaries. And I'm so right here with my sis. During Grace sweatpants season, No, we done already talked about that. We already talked about, the male hoe outfit,
Right.
the basketball shorts, the socks, the sandals, and the wife beater. Oh no, where are we going if you're dressed like that? I need to know where we're going, okay? Because that is the international I came to smash outfit.
No.
Absolutely not. But my I feel like when jealousy becomes unhealthy and it infringes on a person's ability to be who they are, I think in certain ways they start trying to affect how you see yourself by trying to control how you feel other people see you.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not just girl, don't wear that. It's girl, these people out here, they all think you hoes, and that's why they treat you like this. You think you think they're acting like this with you because of this. Da, 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 da. No, they're treating you like this because of blah blah blah. And if you allow them, they will shape the way you think people see you, and ultimately will affect how you see yourself. This is why when people have unhealthy traits like that, you got to get away from them. You got to get away from them. And it be now, excuse. This might be a little crazy, but it be the real sexy people that be the most jealous. I'd be like, you ain't got no reason to be jealous to nobody.
God, you are too cute to be jealous. Is that what you want?
That's what I be wanting to say. Like, hold on, I'm the one that should be. I'm the one that should be. Don't leave the house like that. What you talking to her for or him for in the book? I should be the one. But a lot of times, what I've learned, Manal, is when you are comfortable with who you are and you are settled with who you are, it is a light and it attracts people.
Absolutely.
And if you're not with the right person, instead of them trying to amplify your light, they're
Yes.
gonna try to shut that all the way down.
Yes.
They're gonna try to shut it all the way down.
Because they don't have their own. So again,
Yes.
people walking in the strength of who they are.
Right.
The only way you're gonna elevate each other.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So, Manal, we've talked about the importance of creating a safe space for vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that you may want to add? One final thought, maybe you want to add to this conversation.
So, like, because it's Freaky Friday.
Oh yes.
So something that is really important, and I've said it a few times, is if you talk about the things, then you probably don't need to be doing the things. So when we're talking about safe space for vulnerability, we're talking about all the levels in relationship, including sexual engagements. And so talking about things like, I need you to clean your body. Engaged. Talking about things like, hey, I know you like that position, but that position actually hurts my hip. Let's try a different one.
Okay.
Talking about things like, you think I like when you lick in my ear, but I don't. Because that's
kind of feels nasty. Yeah.
Focus more on this area. Being able to have those conversations.
Love it.
And give each other room to tell you what they like. And what they don't like, so that way you can create a sexual relationship and experiences that are for you to both receive pleasure. It's very important. So if you have a boo or you have a weekend boo, this weekend I encourage you, before you engage, talk about it.
I love it. I love it. Because next week we're talking about nice and slow.
Ooh.
Do you know Manal sent me an article talking about how it should be nice and it should nice, but it should also be slow.
Ooh.
Yes. And so that's what we're gonna talk about next week. Nice. I just wanna take it nice and slow. Nah. But I'm full of anticipating.
Yeah. You gonna just work that bottom on us like that, Walter?
Yeah, I ain't got no top tonight. I ain't got no top tonight. I gave my top away earlier.
Hey.
I was so young. I'm just playing. I'll quit. All right, I'm just playing. Yes, people say they want communication but haven't created a space, right, for their mate to be vulnerable, open, and honest. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm big on saying it's not what you say. A lot of times it's how you say it. You got to learn how to introduce, the conversation, how to bring it up, but you have to have those difficult conversations. You have to have them. Don't always assume that somebody knows what you're thinking and how you're feeling. Okay. So we're gonna see y'all next week. This coming week, we're having the discussion. What does it look like to protect Black women? What does
Ugh.
that look like? Because I've heard the phrase protect Black women. I am down for that phrase. I believe Black women should be protected. But I want to know from a woman's perspective what that looks like. And so I have one or two young ladies that's going to join me on screen and we're going to have that conversation. Now, they don't represent all women, but they definitely, uh, they are definitely, they're definitely qualified because they have been women their whole life. All right. Um, we want to thank you all so much for tuning in tonight to the Walt B Connection, the Freaky Friday. Share this video, even if they watch the replay. I want y'all to know this show is entertaining. It's gonna help them. If you think they need to watch just a 5-minute clip of it, send it to them. Tell them where it start, and tell them, just go ahead on and fast forward it to the 45-minute part. And send it to them. If you disagree with everything we say, share the video and be like, "These folks don't know what they talking about." Go ahead and share the video. Thank you, Lady T. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, we want you to share this video. Again, we're growing together, and we're working on some things. Manal needs to start her YouTube channel because y'all don't understand how wise this woman is. Absolutely, Nikita. I will tag you for next weekend when we're talking about nice and slow. Manon needs to start her YouTube channel and just give us 3-minute videos because she's amazing. I'm telling you. You all have no clue. All right. But until later, we want to say thank you all for inviting us into your space. We love you. You're amazing. And we will see you next week.